In the vast emptiness of the open ocean, where waves swallow every sound and the horizon seems endless, a mysterious event unfolded, one so shocking that even seasoned sailors struggled to believe what they saw. A hunt worth millions took place in silence, hidden from the world, and the real reason behind it is far more unbelievable than the hunt itself. Today, you and I will dive into that secret story, a journey deep into waters where humans rarely venture. There, a creature weighing 45 tons, stronger than any storm and older than many civilizations, became the target of one of the most intense pursuits ever waged at sea. When you hear the truth, you'll understand why men were willing to gamble their lives for it. The sperm whale, the deep-sea titan, is unlike any other creature on Earth. It can dive nearly 3,000 meters into pitch-black trenches where pressure can crush steel and temperatures drop close to freezing. Its brain is the largest in the animal kingdom, giving it extraordinary communication, navigation, and defensive abilities. But despite its power, what makes the sperm whale truly extraordinary is the treasure hidden inside its massive body, a substance so rare, so coveted, that it has shaped entire economies and sparked countless ocean expeditions. Few people know that the value of a single whale can surpass that of a luxury mansion. From the 18th to the early 20th century, whalers from America, Japan, the Netherlands, and the Pacific Islands built entire industries around these giant creatures. Small wooden boats left safe harbors and entered deadly waters, driven by the promise of riches that only whales could provide. When a whale surfaced to breathe, harpoons were launched with explosive force. The spear pierced through layers of blubber, embedding itself deep within the flesh, while thick ropes held the whale back from diving into the abyss below. The ocean erupted into chaos as the enormous creature thrashed violently. Just one swing of its powerful tail could shatter boats, hurl men into the freezing waves, or drag them beneath the surface with terrifying speed. Many whalers who set out never returned, lost to storms, to the sea, or to the fury of whales that refused to surrender. For those who survived long enough to kill a whale, the battle changed form, but not intensity. The next step was towing the 45-ton body across miles of rough water. Engines roared, ropes strained, and steel cables groaned under the weight of the massive corpse gliding through the waves. On deck, under the burning sun or in bitter winds, the crew began the gruesome process of dissecting the whale. Huge blades, sharper than swords and nearly as long, sliced into layers of flesh as thick as mattresses. The smell of fat and salt mixed with diesel and blood, creating an unforgettable atmosphere. Whale oil, extracted from the thick blubber, was once the world's primary fuel for lamps and machinery. Before electricity, this single resource lit up entire cities, powering the rise of industries, commerce, and even wartime fleets. Without whales, the world as we know it today would have developed much slower. But the true treasure lies deeper within the whale. Ambergris, often called the floating gold of the sea, forms slowly in the whale's intestines. Ambergris is a waxy, extremely rare substance that gives luxury perfumes their long-lasting signature scent. Even today, one small lump can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. A large piece, if found inside a whale, can raise the total value of a catch to over $2 million. This staggering number has tempted many crews to continue the hunt in secrecy, despite international laws protecting the species. Modern whaling ships are far more advanced. With sonar, steel cranes, hydraulic cutters, and high-powered engines, they process whales faster than ever before. But the speed and efficiency of these operations have made the sight even more disturbing for many observers, fueling global controversy. Yet every part of the sperm whale still holds commercial value. Bone and ivory-like teeth are carved into ornaments and jewelry. Skin can be turned into durable materials. Even the leftovers can be used as fertilizer or animal feed. For communities with few economic opportunities, a whale represents survival. However, hunting a creature so intelligent and majestic carries serious ethical questions. Sperm whales communicate through complex clicking patterns, care for their young with devotion, and show signs of emotional depth. Many scientists even believe they possess forms of culture. Conservation groups argue that killing such a creature is cruel and unnecessary. They warn that sperm whale populations plummeted dangerously during centuries of whaling, and though some regions report partial recovery, the species remains vulnerable to extinction. Countries across the world now enforce strict bans on commercial whaling, but not all communities agree. In remote coastal regions, whaling is a heritage, a cultural tradition, and often the only sustainable way families have survived for generations. This creates a dilemma. Should tradition be preserved at the cost of a species? Or should global conservation take priority even if it disrupts entire communities? The debate is fierce, emotional, and far from being resolved. Supporters of whaling argue that regulated, small-scale hunting does not significantly damage whale populations and provides vital support to families who rely on the sea. Critics respond that any killing puts additional pressure on a species already recovering from centuries of exploitation. Meanwhile, the ocean continues its silent witness. Beneath the surface, whales navigate ancient routes, communicate across vast distances, and roam the depths in ways humans are only beginning to understand. Each whale carries not just biological value, but a story, a fragment of Earth's history. The sperm whale is more than a giant. It is a symbol of the ocean's mystery, strength, and fragility. Its story forces us to confront a difficult truth. Humans have the power to shape nature, but also the responsibility to protect it. As we leave this journey behind, Let this tale remind us that the ocean holds wonders and dangers in equal measure. Every discovery raises new questions about our place in the natural world and the cost we are willing to pay for the treasures we seek. In the deepest corners of the ocean where no sunlight reaches, where submarines glide like shadows, and where sonar pulses drift through eternal darkness, a creature with no bones, no teeth, and no defense is quietly redefining global power: the sea cucumber. It cannot attack, cannot flee, and cannot fight. Yet entire nations have begun a silent tug of war over the seabeds it inhabits, territories that suddenly matter more than anyone expected. Stretching from the frozen channels of Alaska to the contested reefs of the South China Sea, from the coasts of Mexico to the coral gardens of the Maldives, this soft, slow-moving animal has become known as soft gold, a resource valuable enough to spark conflict, corruption, and territorial expansion. Beneath the waves, a new kind of war is erupting, not with torpedoes or missiles, but with economics, survival, and the relentless hunger for dominance hidden beneath calm waters. For centuries, the sea cucumber was nothing more than a coastal delicacy, but in the 21st century, it has transformed into a strategic ocean commodity, a subtle but powerful lever in the struggle for maritime control. China, which consumes nearly 80% of the world's supply, scours oceans across the globe, buying from the Philippines, Indonesia, India, East Africa, and anywhere the creature can be harvested. Meanwhile, Japan, Canada, and the United States have expanded industrial diving operations in Alaska and British Columbia, turning icy waters into the front lines of one of the world's most profitable fisheries. As demand surges, whoever controls the harvest controls the price, shaping not just markets, but geopolitical influence across entire regions. Each shipment, each ton of dried product, becomes a calculated move in a global economic chess game played by powerful nations with competing agendas. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Where sea cucumbers thrive, coral reefs flourish, And wherever reefs flourish, territorial claims suddenly rise, flags flutter, and lines on the map shift ever so slightly in favor of whoever gets there first. The war for soft gold is not loud, but its ripple effects travel across oceans, shaping the political landscape far beyond the seafloor itself. But when the price of dried sea cucumbers climbs to $500 per kilogram, and in rare species, much higher quiet coastlines become battlegrounds the moment the sun sets. In Mexico, powerful cartels infiltrate the trade, using sea cucumbers as an ideal tool for money laundering because they are high value, portable, and difficult to trace. In Kenya, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, and parts of Indonesia, destitute divers plunge into shallow reefs under moonlight, many without proper gear, some drowning, some suffering paralysis from decompression, never returning to their families. The sea cucumber has become a kind of living currency, a soft-bodied, easily smuggled treasure moving across continents through shadowy networks. Hidden inside seafood shipments, disguised in mixed catches, or mislabeled as harmless marine products, they slip through dozens of ports, avoiding detection with ease. For international traffickers, it is profit. For governments, it is a rising crisis. But for the people living along these coasts, it is survival, the thin line between feeding a family or going to bed hungry. As climate change worsens droughts, as wars disrupt trade, and as poverty spreads, the ocean becomes the last refuge for millions. And every dive becomes a gamble between earning a meal, breaking the law, or losing your life to the deep. In this battlefield without gunfire, the stakes are as real as any armed conflict. Ecologically, the sea cucumber is one of nature's quiet miracles, each individual filtering and cleaning massive quantities of sand every year, recycling nutrients that coral reefs desperately need to survive. And yet, as humanity digs deeper into the ocean's pantry, we are removing these natural cleaners faster than ecosystems can recover, leaving corals choking under sediment and dying in silence. In fragile economies torn apart by war, inflation, or political instability, sea cucumbers have become life rafts for thousands of coastal families, generating income where no other opportunities exist. But this lifeline comes with a hidden cost. As the species declines, coral reefs collapse, fish disappear, and coastal ecosystems crumble, threatening the very communities that depend on them. So the question becomes unavoidable. Can the world consume and conserve at the same time? Or are we gradually eating away the future of the oceans, one soft-bodied scavenger at a time? Beneath the cold sand, where power, profit, and survival intersect, the debate is no longer, how much is a sea cucumber worth? The real question is, how much are we worth if we destroy the ocean just to sustain ourselves for another season? Because in the end, the greatest danger isn't the creature we harvest, or the criminals who smuggle it, or even the governments claiming ownership over reefs. The greatest danger is our belief that the ocean will always survive what we do to it. Subscribe to Now Discover, because the deepest truths of our planet never float on the surface.